What's up, everyone? Nima here, and I want to talk about a couple games that are coming out um, either soon or have already came out, and just give you my impressions on them, if I'm going to pick them up, what my thoughts are of them, and understand that most of these are I've played the demo, so I can't give you a super in-depth look at it, but it really is like an outsider's perspective, meaning I don't have much attachment to any of these. And of course, as you can tell, the first one is Neo, The World Ends With You. This game came out, or is going to come out next week, but this game had a huge story behind it last weekend. So a lot of people ended up pre-ordering the game from Square Enix, the developers itself. And the automatic response at Square Enix was to send out like a DLC code. And a lot of people got this code, tried it out, and discovered they gave them the entire game. So there's some people who have had this game, been able to play through it completely open since last week or early this week. And um, Wario64 actually tweeted if you were one of these people, you should download it as quick as possible and then put your Switch on airplane mode. And and he was right. If you did do that, hopefully you followed his advice, because a couple of days ago Square did effectively kill the the with an update. They killed the game, hit it back under, locked it up, if you will. And so if you were receiving updates and you had your Switch connected to the internet, you unfortunately were met with the game being locked again and you having to wait here another 5 more days for the game to come out. So yeah, hopefully enough of you guys did get that message in and are still playing the game and having fun with it. So now this game has a pretty big following. The die-hard fans love this game, and I kind of missed out on it. Um, I would say I'm not sure exactly why I was kind of turned off with the game, the first game. This is a sequel, kind of, not really a sequel, but it just for some reason I looked at it and I just wasn't interested. I really can't tell you why. I think part of it is I had heard there were some issues with control, and at the time I really didn't understand the depth of some of these games. And looking at it, um, I was more into like the traditional RPG, which is weird, um, because this JRPG, this kind of Persona style, if you will, is like my favorite style now. But I don't know. I think I was probably playing Skyrim for the 80th time and just kind of passed it up. Um, so the story that I'm aware of for this game is confusing. Uh, I will be honest, the two major things about a game is the story and the mechanics, and both of them I fairly certain I don't have a grasp on. Obviously, with the story, it is what it is, right? Like, um, what I know about the story so far is that you are, and understand, this is I've not done any research into this game, only the demo. I really want to give like that first impression from a complete outside, no idea what I'm doing. But essentially, is there is a game, and it's widely accepted in this city that people will just fight creatures, I guess. Maybe like in a virtual reality kind of situation. And in the game, on their phones, you're trying to be you're trying to be the highest ranked gamer, if you will. And so you run into these battles that are out in the street, uh, and you try to maximize like your style points and your rhythm and your process of hitting the buttons to score higher. At some point, you're acknowledged for your ability, and the game is kind of taken off from there. I do really like the presentation of the game. I love the graphics. I think the whole just design of the game, the city looks really great. It's vibrant. I love the comic book style. I just love how it seems like there's always something going on. It's very contrary to a game like Monster Hunter Stories, which is kind of slow and calm and quiet. And there's something to be said for that as well. But to have this big city you're running through, there's all this action going on, there's people, the NPCs, which I think is a really cool thing, is the NPCs will they'll communicate whether you talk to them or not. You'll hear them having conversations outside of you interacting with them, which I think is kind of cool. Um, Again, the comic book style, really, really big fan of that. The character design, I think, is great. Like all the aesthetics, I think this game really nails it for me. And the battle itself, it's an action RPG um, with like a rhythm mechanic in there that again I haven't mastered and not fully understand, to be honest. In fact, I've gotten my butt kicked in this game more than I like to admit. um, but what I have played of it, even though I'm, losing and I'm still trying to really grasp why I'm doing what I'm doing or how I'm doing or what makes it, what gives me these style points and the battle mechanics in general, I'm still really enjoying it. And I think that's what a good game does is it will take all of that aside and it just makes you want to keep playing and it makes you want to keep getting better and discovering and continuing to pursue that game. And that's 100% what this game has done. As I'm playing it right now, like getting the 100% groove score. That's the first time I've ever done that. I don't know how I did it. Um, but even then, I only got a rank of a B. So, like, I feel like there's some mechanics that I'm missing out on. But what it is that like, JRPG mixed in with the action element, the rhythm, the button. I wouldn't say mashing because you definitely want to pay attention, but the reason why I bring in the button aspect is because each button controls each character. So right now I've got three characters, and the X controls the main character, the Y controls his buddy, and the R button controls this gentleman that they just met. And I don't know. There's something really satisfying about this game. So for me, yeah, I'm going to be picking it up. I think it's a really cool game. I'm definitely interested in playing it. I think the $60 is well worth it on this one, to be honest. And I don't say that very often with a lot of games. But I can see why the fans of the series really, really love it. It's been great. So the other game that I want to talk about is CrisTale. And this game is already out. I played the demo of it. I think I'll get with the story first. And the story is you grow up in an orphanage. Um, you're sent on a task. While you're on this task, you find out you are a time mage and you can control time. That leads to a ton of different battle mechanics, which I think are really cool. You can take enemies and you can send them to the past. You can take elements like water, shoot that like on an iron shield, send that enemy with the water on their shield into the future, and it'll then rust and deteriorate their shield. And so I think like that kind of thing is really cool. The design in general, uh, which I was hoping I had show some more. Let me see if I can find some more. But anyway, there when you're running through the town, it's kind of set up on a pyramid, if you will, and in the inside of the pyramid, that's how your screen looks, is a pyramid, um, is the present. On the left of that pyramid is the past, and then there's the future. And all of those three screens running at the same time, um, it just looks really, it pops. The art style really pops. All of that works really, really well. You can kind of see in here every now and then they'll kind of show just a little glimpse of that like pyramid I'm talking about. That's the main screen you look at. I actually wish I had found a different trailer, but it's all I can find and I'll explain why. Because I'm talking about this game in almost a loving manner, and I do feel that way. But see, there's the pyramid thing I'm talking about. And there's future, past, present, and as you're running through the world, you feel like you can see in the future, and you discover that parts of your village deteriorate and rot, and you've got to figure out how to save it, and you got to make choices about which building you want to save, which family you want to help, things like that. And I think it really does add an element to the game. The dev team of this game basically said that they wanted to do a love letter to like Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, and I think they hit that. I think they really did a good job with that. Um, the dialogue runs a little bit long for me, gets to be a little much, and the load times on the Nintendo Switch are kind of a killer. So, with all that being said, am I going to pick this game up? No, I'm not. And I'll tell you why. And if you own an Xbox and you have Game Pass, this is why. This game is free on Game Pass right now, and uh, look at. I will say I downloaded it definitely. Like I'm excited to play it on the Xbox, um, but it's not worth a purchase for me on the Switch. For one, it's there for free, so why not? I know like there's some people who are collectors, and I wouldn't even put this game in that realm yet. I think this is one of those games that you're gonna enjoy and you're gonna like quite a bit. But I don't know if it's a great game. Like I don't know if it falls into that line of I want multiple ways to play this game. I, you know, I'm gonna look back at it as a game that is gonna stand the test of time, even though it has these like really genius mechanics to it. And honestly, it takes that turn-based RPG style and actually makes it pretty fun and engaging. It has all of that, and I really do like that. I hate ever being negative about a game, even though one of the big criticisms about me is, well, don't you dislike any games? But I'm telling you, a lot of people put a lot of hard work into these games, and certain people identify with games and love them. And I don't want to crap on that. Like, who am I to crap on that? But for me, if I had a just a Nintendo Switch and I was, left with the only way to get this game is to spend the $40, I'll be honest, I wouldn't. Um, I would wait. We know Nintendo eShop does tons of sales all the time. Monster Hunter Stories 2 was just on sale for like, I think it was down from 59 to 39 on Amazon. Like that kind of situation. Then I'd pick it up. If this game drops into the $20 to $30 range, I'll definitely buy it. It's like that's when it would be a buy for me. Obviously, I have the Xbox, I have the Game Pass. That's where I'll play it. That's where I'll enjoy it. But for those of you who are thinking about getting it, I don't know. Me personally, I would wait. And what really bothers me too, for anyone now, is the demos pulled down, which is why I'm not showing you game footage because I don't have the demo anymore, and you can't get it. That bothers me because I think the demo would at least give you that opportunity to see if you like it. And for me, like I said, it gave me enough to make me go, $40 is a little bit too much for me. And so for the last game, um, I think this one is It's pretty easy because it's free. Yeah, that's right. If you have a Nintendo Switch, this game is free. Go download it, check it out. It's a MOBA game, and take that for what it is. Um, some people are into MOBA games. I will say this: especially when League of Legends was huge, I kind of dipped into MOBA, and I had fun with the MOBA style, but I thought it was like really slow. It took me forever, and I wasn't really into it. This though is it's not as punishing. If you mess up um, and you get killed, it's a significantly reduced penalty, and you're back in there and you're fighting again. It's really easy button controls. You basically have like three buttons that do most of your actions. The scoring aspect and the team aspect is pretty fun. Um, I can't say too many bad things about it, honestly. I know that there's a lot of concern with the micro transactions that can occur, and there is a way that you can juice your character a little bit, I believe. Um, so there is a little bit of that like pay to win mentality in it, but I'll be honest, like I haven't experienced it. And usually when these games first come out, that's when the whales come out and you see a lot of money going into these things. Um, for the most part, I've played a good, I don't know, I'd say like 2 to 3 hours on here, and some of it was just running around, some of it was kind of discovering things, looking for things. But in that short time that I have, I honestly like usually this isn't me bragging, but I usually end in like either the top scoring or like second or third. Like I'm usually a pretty good asset to my team, and I don't ever discover anything. It's just like overpowered or a situation. I think the thing with it is a lot of people may not be familiar with like MOBA style games and how to do it. I've encountered that a lot where I'll run into an enemy and we exchange damage, and as soon as I start, going about under halfway of my health or whatever, I'll run back to go recharge, and they follow me, and I'll go recharge and then just attack them, and it's like they don't understand that that's not how you play a MOBA. Um, and some people probably, haven't played one before, but they're just really into Pokemon, and that's the entire game for them. But in this game, you do go around doing like what I'm doing here, where I'm just attacking the wild Pokemon, and every time you beat one, you get a Pokeball, and it's a point. And you take your points and you score on your opponent's goal. And when you do that, you get levels, and you can eventually evolve. You can gain uh, different moves. I haven't really used this one before, to be honest, and it's slow, very slow. But yeah, you see, you take some damage, you go back and you heal. I wasn't really ready for that encounter right there, but yeah, I mean that's just kind of the point of the game. It's a more slow paced, but faster than like League of Legends. League of Legends, when you're going to who's gonna take over which area, that can take so long. I know I've experienced League of Legends battles that were in the hour to 2 hour. These games last about 20 minutes or so, and so it gives you that um, just that quick kind of experience with the game, and then you're off and you're doing another thing, uh, another battle, another round. It depends like who you get uh, matched up with. Some people are really, really experienced at MOBA style games. Other people aren't. You can kind of tell that with your team on how well teamwork is going and how well people are dying or not dying. And so there's a lot to that. It just takes time, honestly. But yeah, let's see if I can score before I get killed here. I don't think I'm going to. I was trying to show. Oh, I died. Yeah, I was trying to show you guys how you score in the game, 'cause that's really, part of the big mechanics of it. And what really stinks is like I lost a significant amount of points that I occurred during that time. But what you can do is you can use the map, and you can see like the top lane. I see someone in there and only one enemy, so I'm gonna go assist my other teammate up here and try to drive back the the enemy here and see if we can at least get to a point where we can. Oh, I got a knockout there. See, now I can score on this goal at 30 points, which is huge in this game. And that's just kind of the point. Now I go back and go beat a bunch of wild Pokemon up and gain more points and slowly get to that point where I can go score again. I usually save around 10 to 12 points and then try to score on their goal, which is difficult, honestly, if you have a team who doesn't really get the idea that MOBAs are uh, more of a team game, and that you can't Rambo a situation. You really can't. Um, like me being outnumbered here, I'm dead. You know, but you again, if you're not familiar with that style, that's basically how you do it. You push up there, you get as much as you can, and then you run back. And you definitely want to almost be like teamed up with someone as you're doing it. You just gain more experience, you gain more um, ground because you're easily outmaneuvered. There is no what I would say Rambo style, just running out, defeating everyone on your own. It's not possible. But yeah, again, the microtransaction things haven't really experienced too much in. Um, for the most part, I would say I've really enjoyed my time with it. Um, it's it's free, like, so why not check it out? It's fun, a good time killer. I don't know if it's a game I'm gonna get super invested in or play a lot. I mean, um, I'm on here though, Nima. Check me out. It's like I said, be a fun way to play with some of you guys, and it's a free game. Like we don't get many free games, and right now, they haven't learned to really capitalize off of it and monetize it to the point where they just kind of run it into the ground like so many of these other kind of style games are. But anyway, that's my take on these games. I want to give one that I'm gonna get. I want to get one that I'm gonna, I'm gonna get only because it's free on Game Pass, and that's a free game that anyone can get. That I think really, if you're strapped for cash and you don't have much expendable money and you're looking for a new game, or you just picked up Skyward Sword and you want something to kind of counteract that, just something else to, kind of kill your time and have some fun. This is a great game for that right now. I don't know how long it's going to stay that way. Um, Again, you know how these kind of situations are. Quit very, very quickly. You these things get over monetized, and you're really in a bad way with whales and things like that, and people just overjuicing their characters and you know things of that nature. Anyway, though, that's it for me, guys. Take care. Bye bye.